Top 10 oil-producing African countries in 2025. Africa's gusher gods. A 2025 countdown of the continent's top 10 oil titans. Forget Wakanda's vibranium. Africa's real power player is crude oil. This black gold has long brought both wealth and chaos to the continent, fueling everything from economic booms to political drama. But in 2025, the landscape is shifting. New nations are rising, old giants are evolving, and the energy game is getting a fresh script. So gear up, we're counting down Africa's top 10 oil producers, from scrappy contenders to reigning champs. A quick note on our crystal ball. These 2025 rankings are projections based on current output, planned projects, investment trends, and the ever-dramatic OPEC plus quotas. The oil market is more volatile than a toddler after 3 juice boxes, so think of this as an educated, entertaining forecast. Number 10. Chad, the gritty underdog of the Sahel. Projected 2025 production, approximately 75,000 to 90,000 barrels per day, BPD. Kicking off our list is the landlocked warrior Chad. Producing oil in Chad is like trying to run a marathon in ski boots. It's incredibly difficult, but the fact they do it at all is worthy of respect. With no coastline, Chad's oil has to go on a 1,070-kilometer, 665-mile journey through a pipeline across Cameroon just to see the ocean. It's the longest, most expensive Uber ride in the African oil business. Oil was first discovered in Chad's Doba Basin by Conoco in the 1970s, but civil unrest stalled development, like winning the lottery and then losing the ticket in a brawl. Real progress came in the early 2000s when ExxonMobil and the World Bank backed the Chad-Cameroon pipeline, finally getting oil flowing in 2003. 2025. Snapshot. Chad is the gritty underdog. Production has dipped, but new operators, Perenco, are working to revive it. The main hurdles aren't underground, but political and logistical. Still, Chad proves that with enough willpower and pipeline, progress is possible. Number 9. Gabon, the fading prince with a green conscience. Projected 2025 production, approximately 170,000 to 190,000 barrels per day. Gabon. For years, this small, forested nation was the quiet, wealthy aristocrat of Central Africa, sipping champagne while its neighbors brawled. It was one of the first sub-Saharan producers and has lived comfortably off its reserves for decades. But now, its legacy fields are maturing, and it's producing less oil than a single giant field in Nigeria. In 1956, French firm Elf Aquitaine, now Total Energies, struck oil near Port Gentil, changing Gabon's fate. With a small population and big oil, the country flourished, turning Libreville into a polished capital, funded by petrodollars. Now, Gabon's oil output is slowly declining, like a vintage car gently coasting to a stop. But they're not panicking, they're pivoting. As leaders in rainforest conservation, Gabon is shifting from black gold to green gold, setting an example for a post-oil future. Number 8. Equatorial Guinea, the lottery winner with a spending problem. Projected 2025 production, approximately 180,000 to 200,000 barrels per day, including condensates. No country in Africa has a more dramatic rags to riches oil story than Equatorial Guinea. Before the 1990s, it was a forgotten backwater. Then, an American company named Mobil, now ExxonMobil, hit the Zafiro field in 1995, and the country won the geological lottery. Overnight, it became the Kuwait of Africa, boasting one of the highest GDPs per capita on the continent. Equatorial Guinea struck it big with the Zafiro oil field, a massive offshore find that brought in huge wealth to an unprepared nation. The result? a textbook case of the resource curse, where riches ended up in the hands of a powerful few. By 2025, production is declining, but the country isn't giving up. With bold new exploration and the ambitious Gas Mega Hub project, they're trying to stretch their energy wealth, like a rich heir making last-ditch investments to stay in the game. Number 7. Ghana, the energetic new kid on the block. Projected 2025 production, approximately 190,000 to 210,000 barrels per day. If this list were a high school, Ghana would be the promising freshman who's already captain of the football team. A relative newcomer to the oil game, Ghana's story is one of modern discovery, high hopes, and the challenges of managing newfound wealth in a vibrant democracy. After years of failed attempts by big oil companies, Ghana struck gold, oil, in 2007, thanks to the bold move by Cosmos Energy. The Jubilee Field, named for the country's 50th independence anniversary, started producing in 2010 and marked Ghana's arrival on the oil scene. Ghana is on the rise, with new fields like Pecan set to boost output. But with growth comes growing pains, contract challenges, high expectations, and the pressure to avoid the pitfalls of older oil nations. In 2025, Ghana is the eager student, learning fast and aiming high. Number 6. Republic of the Congo, the other Congo with all the oil. Projected 2025 production, approximately 260,000 to 280,000 barrels per day. Often confused with its gigantic, chaotic neighbor, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Republic of the Congo is the smaller, oil-rich sibling. It has been a steady, if not spectacular, producer for decades, with its fortunes closely tied to the French oil giant Total Energies. Congo's oil journey began in 1957 at Pointe-Indienne, thanks to the French. But the real boom came with offshore fields like Emeraude and Nikossa, turning Pointe-Noire into the oily heartbeat of the nation's economy. By 2025, Congo's oil production is slowly declining, but not without a fight. With new projects and advanced recovery methods, they're squeezing out every last drop while trying, sometimes desperately, to diversify beyond oil. It's the classic case of an old pro trying to stay in the game. Number 5. Egypt, the wise old pharaoh of fossil fuels. Projected 2025 production, approximately 540,000 to 560,000 barrels per day. Egypt is the grandfather of oil on this list. It's been producing oil since before your grandfather was born. With the first discovery dating back to the 1880s, Egypt has a long and storied history. However, it has a unique problem. Its own people use a ton of its oil. Egypt made history with Africa's first commercial oil well at Gemsa in 1886. But the major modern boom came in the 1960s in the Gulf of Suez. While the massive Zohr gas field has recently grabbed headlines, Egypt's oil output remains solid. As a mature oil producer, Egypt's 2025 challenge isn't just pumping more oil, it's meeting its huge domestic demand. With over 110 million people, it's producing plenty, but still imports refined products. Think of it as a baker who bakes 1,000 loaves, but has to feed a family of 1,100. The focus now? Efficiency, gas, and renewables to stretch every drop. Number 4. Algeria, the Sahara's sleeping energy giant. Projected 2025 production, approximately 950,000 to 1,050,000 barrels per day. Sprawling across a huge swath of the Sahara Desert, Algeria is an absolute behemoth of energy. It's a dual threat, possessing massive reserves of both oil and natural gas. It's a quiet, reserved, and fiercely independent player on the world stage, managed by the state-owned giant Sonatrach. Algeria struck oil in 1956 at Hassi Messaoud, just before gaining independence in 1962, making oil a symbol of national pride. Despite huge reserves, red tape and investment hurdles have limited growth. But with a new hydrocarbons law attracting fresh partnerships, 2025 could mark a turning point. Algeria is the quiet powerhouse, low on noise, high on desert oil. Number 3. Angola, the deepwater diva. Projected 2025 production, approximately 1.1 to 1.15 million barrels per day. After a devastating civil war, Angola reinvented itself as a deepwater oil superstar. Its production comes from some of the most technologically advanced, mind-bogglingly expensive offshore platforms in the world, floating miles out in the Atlantic. Angola is all about high-tech, high-risk, high-reward. Angola's oil story began in 1955 with the Kwanza Basin, but the real boom came in the 1990s after civil war subsided, opening the door to deepwater exploration. Legendary fields like Girasol, Dahlia, and Pazflor catapulted Angola into oil superstardom. Production has dipped in recent years due to underinvestment, but President João Lourenço is shaking things up, privatizing, reforming, and wooing the big players back. By 2025, Angola's comeback is underway. Think of her as the glamorous diva staging a high-energy encore. Number 2. Libya, the great and powerful wildcard. Projected 2025 production, approximately 1.2 to 1.5 million barrels per day, if stable. Libya is the ultimate if on this list. It sits on the largest proven oil reserves in all of Africa, a staggering 48 billion barrels of high-quality, easy-to-refine crude. When things are calm, Libya can pump oil like a fire hose. The problem is, things are rarely calm. Libya struck oil in 1959 at the Zelton field, thanks to Esso, now Exxon. Under Gaddafi, oil wealth turned Libya into a powerful player, funding both local development and global escapades. Libya's oil production is wildly unpredictable, booming one day, blocked by militias the next. In 2025, hopes are high for stability, and the National Oil Corporation is eyeing major expansion. Libya is the sleeping giant of African oil. If it ever wakes up properly, it could shake the whole game. Number 1. Nigeria, the undisputed, complicated king. Projected 2025 production, approximately 1.6 to 1.8 million barrels per day. And here we are at the top of the mountain. Nigeria, the giant of Africa, is also its undisputed oil king. It has the reserves, the infrastructure, and the history. But being the king is complicated. Nigeria's oil story is a blockbuster epic filled with thrilling highs, gut-wrenching lows, and a cast of billions. The discovery story. The moment that changed Nigeria forever happened in 1956. After years of searching, Shell BP found commercially viable oil in the village of Oloibiri in the Niger Delta. That first well opened the floodgates to a national fortune, profoundly reshaping the country's economy and destiny. The 2025 deep dive. Nigeria should be producing well over 2 million barrels per day. Its potential is immense, but it's been wrestling with a hydra of problems: rampant crude oil theft, aging infrastructure, and complex regulatory reforms. However, major changes are afoot. The passage of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, and a renewed crackdown on oil theft are designed to finally unleash the giant. Furthermore, the massive new Dangote refinery, coming fully online, will reshape the flow of products across the continent. By 2025, We expect Nigeria to have tackled enough of its issues to see a significant and sustained increase in production, firmly cementing its place as Africa's #1 oil titan. It's the heavyweight champion who sometimes punches himself in the face but is now getting back into fighting shape. The double-edged drill bit. From Chad's landlocked plains to Angola's deep waters, Africa's oil journey mirrors its modern evolution, brimming with opportunity, riddled with challenges, and fueled by resilience. These top oil producers aren't just chasing barrels, they're shaping the destinies of millions. In 2025, the real victory isn't just high production, it's turning oil wealth into long-term prosperity. The question is, will it build a future or deepen dependence? The choice is theirs. Did you enjoy this deep dive into Africa's energy powerhouses? If so, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more engaging content that makes you smarter and hopefully makes you smile.